If the perfect person comes along and we can walk along this path together, that would also be amazing. But I love myself enough to not have to need or extremely desire another person. Outside of my grandma, shout out to you. You the real one.
You probably saw a future with that person. Maybe you wanted to marry that person, and now you're still keeping in touch.
I can't stop myself from feeling, but I can control my actions.
Cheating can be great in a lot of areas.
You got me feeling good today.
Welcome, everyone, to Jam Session number 7 with Jazz and
Montez.
Today, we're going to be talking about self-love and how that plays a role in your relationships.
I really love myself.
All right, I'm going to shout out to Awaken Theater. It's a theater company based out of San Diego. They do several shows throughout the year. They're awesome. You should check them out. You can look them up on Instagram at Awaken Theater.
Thank you for sponsoring this episode of the podcast, Jam
Yes.
Sessions.
Thank you. All right, we're going to dive right into the deep end on this one. So, you ready? Ready to get?
I mean, I can swim, but we're going to find out if there's any sinkholes or whirlpools or not. Let's go.
All right. So, first question is, how do you tend to your mental health, emotional, physical, and spiritual health? And what motivates you to do so?
Let's do the easy ones first.
Okay.
Physical health, I play basketball at least like 4 to 5 times a week. Like I might be addicted to working out. Anything competitive where I'm moving my body, it helps keep me sane. And I get a lot of my frustrations out because I'm always working and it's a pretty stressful thing. But physically, I'm always active. It could be, we do Saturday workouts with a bunch of people in LA, which are amazing times. I do HIIT workouts sometimes by myself, basketball all the time. I do not run on the track anymore. I just want to let that be very known. I am not doing repeat 200s ever again in my life. I love to lift Olympic lifts. Spiritually, I pray. Even when we catch that, like, it's 2:22 or it's 11:11, make a wish. That for me, that's a prayer. Like, I'm not even going to sit here and act like that. I don't be like, I wish for something and be like, God, please, thank you. I gotta be very clear. It also feeds my soul, my spirit when I help other people. So I try to do an act of kindness a day, whether it's something big or something small. It could be just inspiring somebody to be better or saying thank you or holding the door for somebody. It doesn't have to be something big, but mental, I'm very organized. Like I'm very, very, very structured. Like my day is my calendar. I have a lot of goals and me being able to check something off the list towards that goal keeps me sane. I'm just going to be completely honest. But then all the other aspects also keep me mentally. The physical part, being able to dive into different things that I'm passionate about helps me stay mentally fit. I'm not much of a reader. I read scripts. I like reading scripts, movie scripts. I did have the big self-help
Phase
in
your life.
But I started to realize that they were saying the same thing in different ways. And it's not to say that I can't improve, but I'm really strict to my morals and I don't think I'm going to do anything outside of that. And my first focus is my goals. So I don't think I need somebody to motivate me or anything like that. They're going to tell me something pivotal or I'm going to have an epiphany off somebody else's words in a conference or in a book. So tried it. It didn't really do that much for me. So I was like, all right, cool. Writing and reading scripts does actually motivate me to be better because it's something that's on the trajectory already of my goals. And emotional, I don't go to therapy. I don't think that I will ever go to therapy unless it's like couples therapy where I need to learn how to better interact with another person. And that's not to say that I think everybody can benefit from therapy, but I think the benefit that I would get from therapy, it won't be as beneficial for me to go to therapy with a little bit that I think that I would get out of therapy from a one-on-one session.
And you've never gone to therapy ever?
No.
Okay.
Nah, I've never gone to therapy before. And I think that everybody can benefit, but I think that benefit that I would get by going to therapy, when that cost and benefit is not worth my time. That is not to say that you guys out there should or should not go to therapy. Do what you feel is best for you. But for me, I don't think that I need to go to therapy. I'm really good at solving, like, I think one of my superpowers is solving my problems. I don't fit the mold of the normal. I don't fit the mold of the common person. I don't think that individual sitting across the room from me asking me questions is going to be like able to tell me more about me than I know about myself. They might know the common person more, but I don't think that I'm going to fit into the mold of those situations most times. The way my mind, I just think about every single scenario. I don't think that person across the room from us having that conversation has less problems in life than, or handles problems better than I do. Like I over communicate. I am patient until I decide not to be patient, but that is a very open choice. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I think I understand me and I work on me all the time.
What motivates you to do that, to constantly be keeping yourself healthy? What's your biggest motivation in that?
I am wildly competitive. It's probably my biggest fault. Not saying it's not a great thing for me, but it's also probably my biggest fault. So if I constantly want to be better, I have to make sure that my mental, emotional, spiritual, all aspects of that are efficient or at an efficient level for me to be as productive as possible. So I make sure that I take care. That's a large reason that I take care of that. So I can be very competitive. So that I could be the best or at least close to the best. You didn't answer the question though. How do you keep your mental?
Oh, I haven't even gone yet. You just been going.
Oh, my bad. Yeah. How do you keep your mental?
Okay. Well, for me, I think as the saying goes, an idle mind is the devil's playground. I think staying active and constantly striving to improve yourself. I do read a lot, actually. I love reading books. Not necessarily, they don't have to be paper, but I like audibles. I do think that there's so much wisdom from different perspectives, different stories, people that have been raised different than I have been raised or whatever. Like there's so many things that you can learn from other people. So I'm never going to think that I've fully arrived or that I've got, like I'm at a point now where I can't, like there's so much to learn daily, I feel like.
Yeah.
For me, like emotional health has to do with healthy relationships, stress management, those type of things in your life. And then self-care, like those all play a part in your emotional health. What?
I'm not good at celebrating myself. So I just wanted to mention by someone else's grade, I might not be as high as I think I am. And somebody else could think that I could improve. And that could be a reason why you should go to therapy.
Well, see, what I wanted to interject on the therapy thing is that I don't know if you're envisioning what it could be fully, because these people not only are educated and went to school for it and they know how to, the thing is they're not trying to fix your problems. They're trying to help you
figure out how to fix my problems.
Right.
I'm very good at figuring out how to, that's what I'm saying.
I know, but you may have problems that you don't even know are there that do hinder you in certain areas of your life that like you think that none of us have ever fully arrived to a point where we're like,
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
There's what I know about myself. There's what other people know about me.
But I feel like they help you uncover things that you maybe haven't thought, like throwing it in a different perspective or asking you a question that might probe something inside of you to discover something new about yourself that you've never known. So I've never gone to therapy either, but I have a friend who is in that field. Actually, I have two friends who are in that field. So they've done like practice sessions on me, or like, they've been like, all right, Jazz, let's have a little one-on-one right now, and I was shook.
So that means you've done therapy before.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it wasn't official. It was like over the phone. They were more so asking me questions, like type of things that.
There's therapy over the phone. One of my friends is doing couples therapy over the phone. I'm just saying.
No, I know. I'm saying I haven't gone to a legitimate therapy session, but they've asked me questions that they would. That's not.
Yes, it is a legitimate therapy session.
I don't know. You guys let us know what you think. This was just a conversation I had with my friends. This is what they do, but whatever. Anyways, all I'm saying is that they help me see things and kind of like pose questions that I maybe wouldn't have posed for myself, that helped me discover a deeper underlying meaning of why I might be thinking a certain way or I might feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
So I think it can be beneficial. But for me, physical is huge. I also am like a workout fanatic. I kind of obsessed with being like elite in everything that I do. Like physically, I always want to push myself to the next level. Usually every year I have a different goal. Like one year I did a fitness competition, like a bikini competition. And that was just for my mental and for just my discipline. I was like, I feel like if I can do this, Like there's nothing that I can't do because you have to be so extremely disciplined. I remember I had to have boiled tilapia for a month, like disgusting. No salt, no seasoning. It was sickening. And I would be going to, and this was during the summer, mind you. So I'm getting invited to like yacht, whatever, just different like events where people are just eating like the most amazing, delicious food. I'd be sitting there with my meal prep and then I'd be up at 4 a.m. every day because I used to work at 6 a.m. So I'd wake up at 4 a.m., get to the gym, do an hour of fasted cardio. And then from there, I would also do like 2-hour lift after my workout every day. After work. It was like a 6 to 8 week prep. But anyways, I felt so mentally strong and so physically challenged that I was like, ooh, every year I want to have a different challenge. So that was my one that I like bucket list thing that I checked off. But then there's always new ways to challenge yourself. So online, there's been like fitness challenges that I've joined, or pretty much every year I'll try something new that's going to push myself to the next level. This year I did the carnivore diet. And then because of the carnivore diet, I was able to do things that they were easy. Like I could run stairs for like an hour and just not even get tired. Like it was wild, the amount of energy that I had. And also like my stamina, everything it was crazy. But yeah, physical health is so important to me, but not only because I like to feel healthy.
Hold on.
What?
Boiled tilapia for a month? Mm-hmm. A month?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My stomach felt like it was so bad. It got to a point where I couldn't even chew it anymore. I'd plug my nose and I would like chew it twice and swallow it down with water. And that was my sustenance. And the thing is, you guys, like...
Hell no. No seasoning?
Yep.
Your shit was probably just pure paste.
I was extremely, like, when I set my mind to do something, like, I don't cheat ever. Like, I remember I didn't even have a Tic Tac. Like if someone offered me a Tic Tac, I'm like, nah, that's not.
So I respect it. I mean, I say that like, nah, I wouldn't do it. But like if I put my mind to it, I would absolutely do it. Like I control my actions. But like think about it right now. No, like I wouldn't want to be in that position. So I wouldn't put myself in that position. So I respect. It's like the people that do the, what do they call it? Like Ironmans.
Yeah.
No. But for y'all, I will literally applaud anybody that does an Ironman. Anybody that does a fitness competition, now that I know what y'all talk, just know. But at the same time, I was a professional athlete. So like, I understand what goes into having to be that champion. That level of like, no. I'm not going to say that level. I'm going to say a level of crazy to do something repeatedly to beat you down, but it's also building you up. I understand that. But an Ironman, no, that's a different level of intensity.
Yeah. So wait, but also, so physical health, it doesn't only have to do with working out. I also really take care of what I put in my body, what I eat, and supplementation is huge. Like I'm very all organic, like grass fed, everything. I do my research on food and I feel like it's a lot more important than we might realize. Like even the people that are at the gym every day and doing all the right physical activities, if you don't fuel your body with the right food, then it's never going to perform at the level that it's possible of performing at. Also, I always think of my future kids and what I want to give to them and their genetic basically as healthy as I am is how healthy my kids are going to be. So what am I passing down to them? Also, what kind of mom am I going to be? Am I going to have extreme energy? Am I going to be able to run around with them on the playground when I'm in my 40s? Like, what's that going to look like? I want to make sure that I'm never going to age in that way. Like I should be physically fit to a point where, and again, food has such a big...
I respect that. But now I feel like I'm going to pass like sugary cereals down to my children. I feel like now I mean,
everything in moderation. It's all about balance. Like you can't be so extreme that, I'll never touch that because that's poison. It's like, no, like you should be able to treat yourself every once in a while. It's what you do 90% of the time. Like what does your, day-to-day look like? And then,
breakfast
you can treat
food
yourself.
Is my 90% of the time. I think that's my point. But like, I'm really good on other things. Like I don't drink soda.
That's great.
I've never consumed alcohol. I've never tried to drink.
Not the alcohol, but I've never drank soda.
Yeah, right. You never drank soda?
No, not in my life. I've had a sip of it, but I do not. Like I haven't had it probably in over 10 years. Like I don't drink it at all.
Yeah, soda is not for me. I've never tasted alcohol before. I've never tried any type of. So I'm scared to do supplements. If I'm being completely honest with you, So USADA scared the shit out of me.
What?
So USADA is a doping agency for the track and field athletes, and they show up at like 2:30 3:30 in the morning and you get pee in a cup, we're going to drug test you. They told me that if there was trace elements of something that I took in like an aspirin, that I would be banned from being on a U.S. team pretty much forever. I was like, nah, I'm good, coach. My knees don't hurt that much. I don't need no ibuprofen. Because they put a lot of these drugs are made in the same factory. So if it's like crushed up and the dust particles go to a different part of the factory and they're in whatever is
right.
concoction.
So supplements are not drugs, people. Just so you know, they're not. It's okay.
We gonna have to look that
it's
one
okay,
up.
but ignorance is, it's.
Yeah, we're gonna see which one of us is ignorant to that fact. We're gonna have to Google, baby.
All right. Well, I grew up with this stuff. I actually studied it, so I'm pretty confident that
we gonna you can talk to me. Don't talk to me nice.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna move on with this one. So for spiritual health, I also have, a community of people that are around me that are spiritually like people that I look up to. But I have a prayer life. I read the Bible. I go to church. I'm involved in like certain things.
She
that
has an
keep me
amazing relationship with God. I will applaud her for that.
Thank you.
Thankful in every way. Appreciative in it. That's actually kind of poetic. Not even kind of. It is poetic. It's nice. Respect.
Thank you. All right, next question. Ready?
And we spent some time on that one. That was a crazy, dense question, and we started the podcast off with that.
I know. It was almost like a 5-part question. It was like going into all the different, but hey, that really covers how do you take care of yourself, right? Which is ultimately self-love. And those are the ways that we do that. You
got to know a lot about us just now. A lot. And if y'all want to ask any questions, feel free. Drop them in the comments. Let us know. We can make a couple of episodes off of their questions, as long as they're not too crazy. Yes. Certain things. But the internet is a crazy place. Sometimes I don't know if I want to live there.
I agree with that one. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Do you protect your heart in a relationship or do you go all in?
Yes. I protect my heart.
Okay.
I had to really think about that. It's impossible for me not to because I've had experiences. And I also think that, in my opinion, I think it's impossible for any human not to because you've had past experience. But you can make the choice to go against those feelings, but in some way, because you feel that way, it's going to come out. It's going to be a protective measure. It's like a reflex. Most people won't just walk up and just hit me. That's just the reality of things. But if someone raises their hand, I'm going to, like, it's not because I'm scared of that person, but instinct is going to come in. Instinct is still part of being human. I can say that, no, I'm completely free and away from all of my experiences. I don't let a relationship in the past affect my current relationship. But those experiences make me who I am. And I can't stop being me. And if me being me is not working in that moment for that person, then I'm not that person's person in that moment. It's cute to say. It just to pivot it. If somebody's like, oh yeah, that person has too much baggage. You got baggage too. I'm a very well kept person. Like I keep myself, I do what I'm supposed to do. I have baggage. Yes, I do have baggage. It may not be worthy of being checked luggage, but it could be like 20 pounds and not 50. But everybody has baggage.
Mm-hmm. I will say for me, I absolutely guard my heart, but that's using wisdom, right? I think you should guard your heart, especially in the beginning. And then you learn to open up like as time goes on and as you build that trust and as you build that foundation. Did I used to go all in when I was younger and inexperienced and didn't have the hurt and the pain and the, experiences that maybe made me a little jaded? Yes. I absolutely was like, oh, here's all of, my whole heart. And man, that does not work out. Like you do get burned. And so because of those experiences, the thing is I don't think it's a bad thing to guard your heart. I think it's wise. I think there's actually a verse that says, guard your heart above all things, actually is what it says, for it is the wellspring of your life. So like it is so important to have, I guess, healthy boundaries, just love yourself enough to say, I'm not going to give this person full access, like right off the bat. Like it's just not using wisdom. Again, as time goes on, you should get to a point with a person where you're able to like be vulnerable and show more and like give more of your heart because they earn that, right?
I think we said the same thing, but to the other side of that, if we're talking, it depends on what type of relationship we're talking about. Because if you are able to be completely open and you're able to be completely honest and you're able to be completely off self, then it optimizes the experience between you and whoever. Mm-hmm. So like as an athlete, I very much so trust my coach. I do what they tell me to do because they have a knowledge of something that I don't quite have yet. They have something to teach me will we make mistakes together? Yes. But that doesn't mean that mistake won't help us both grow. Mm-hmm. So I've had great coaches. I've had some pretty not so great coaches. And one that I will definitely give a shout out to is my college track coach, Coach Nathan Taylor. He is an amazing coach. And I did what he told me to, when he told me to, and how he told me to. Whether I agree with it or not. Was it all beneficial? I can't say yes and I can't say no. But was most of it beneficial? Bruh. And I can say the same thing about the women's coaches at Cornell. A lot, if not every woman that I've come across that ran track at Cornell gave their complete trust in their coach. And they did spectacular things. In different relationships, it could be more beneficial to not have your past experiences or your past distrust or misguided trust in a coach affect your relationship with that coach. Mm-hmm. And it could come to optimize whatever relationship that you have. If you can do that, I'm just saying we're still human and it may be impossible. But if it is possible for you and you happen to find someone without being scarred with those experiences, those poor experiences, at that point, you can have a connection that is elated beyond anything you've ever experienced. I do believe that.
Oh, I believe that too.
Okay.
I just don't think that you should do that like from day one. I think that you get to that point.
Yeah, I think it depends on, because you can have a very blessed or lucky, however you decide to describe it, situation where you are very young and you decide to trust your very first coach. And that very first coach is the one that excels you because there was that trust. Or you can trust somebody, they mess you up, and then you take that distrust to another coach that would be that coach for you. And then you scar that relationship so that there is no growth. You know, there's still that factor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the same thing with relationships. Some people say that they found the love of their life the first time. Some people found the love of their life after they've experienced or matured enough to understand that it's not about self. It's not about what I can get.
It's what I can give.
Right. Mm-hmm. I almost went down a different tangent, but I'm not going to go there.
All right.
I'm not going to go there.
Do you feel there is a missing piece in your heart without a relationship, or do you feel fulfilled in yourself?
I'm fulfilled in myself. I am comfortable being single for the rest of my life if I have to. But if the perfect person comes along and we can walk along this path together, that would also be amazing. But I love myself enough to not have to need or extremely desire another person. Outside of my grandma, shout out to you. You the real one.
Yeah. You got a lot of shout outs today.
Yeah.
No, I actually think that before you even think about getting into a relationship, or if that's even something that you do desire, you have to be fulfilled in yourself. You have to feel already whole as a person. If you feel like you have this emptiness, or someone needs to fill that void, like they're never going to be able to fully, complete you. Like you need to be complete and whole and happy and full, like completely on your own. And then when someone comes along, you can complement each other. You can actually just build each other up. But do I desire a relationship? Absolutely. Because I believe like one person can affect a certain amount of people. Imagine again, I want to bring another verse into this because it's such a good one. It says 1 can chase 1,000, 2 can chase 10,000. When you have a certain amount of people that you can impact and they have a certain amount, you combine that, like it's just, it like opens up a whole new, I just feel like your impact can go so much further when you have someone with a vision and you partner with that vision, and then you guys run together and you push each other and you challenge each other, and
Agreed.
That's unbelievable. Like I know I can do a lot with myself. Like I don't need someone in order to make impact. Right. But man, if I have the right person to do that with, I think when you said the perfect person, you didn't mean a perfect person, right? No, you meant like someone that's perfect for you.
Yeah.
Like, right. Because I feel like everyone's version of, or what's going to work you know, is all going to look different for everyone. But
right. Yeah.
yeah.
So
but yeah,
you mentioned in the beginning that you have to love yourself first before you can fully love another person. If you
Yes.
come into a relationship damaged, the likelihood, not saying it will happen, but the likelihood of you also damaging that relationship is fairly high, in my opinion.
right. And also, if you're coming from a place of desperation, like I need you and I can't, you know, then that's going to push them away so quick because they're going to feel like, yeah, that's a lot of pressure. I can't breathe. Like, you know, because everyone, like, we can't put that pressure on someone else. You need to be responsible for your own happiness. You need to be responsible for your own fulfillment, you know? And then, yeah, a relationship should just complement that. So,
yeah. Moral of that story, find a way to love yourself, folks. And then that love will also find you.
here's a good one. If you were to marry yourself tomorrow.
What?
If you were to marry yourself tomorrow.
Wait, hold on. As in, like,
not leave, you know, well, yeah. No, we're just
all
saying,
right, but
like,
let me get a grasp on this. Are you saying if there was another version of me, like a female version of me, or you saying I would, like, if I could walk up to the altar, just me, be like, will you marry me? And I just jump on the other side. Yeah.
You're being so literal.
Yes, I'm a very literal person.
If oh my God, I can't even do this.
Okay, go ahead.
If you were to marry yourself tomorrow, what vows would you commit to keeping to yourself?
Never give up on you, but I already have that commitment to myself.
Damn, you stole my words.
Oh, okay. You already wrote the answers down?
I wrote down a couple of things I didn't want to forget. Okay. There's not an answer. It's more so like, these are my top things that I wanted to share.
Okay. Yeah, I never give up on me, but that's already, like, I guess I have a lot of vows.
Great. We'll share some of them. So
be selfless.
The people can know and hear.
Remain disciplined. Never overuse power. Understand that it's never about you. It's never about you. I don't care what's going on. You're never the center. Even if from a certain angle you might seem like it, you're not the most important. You're not the smartest. You're not the most athletic. You're not even the most competitive. You're not the most attractive. And as long as I continue to have that mentality, I can find growth.
Which is a mentality of humility is what I'm hearing, obviously.
And remember that you're human.
For me, the vows that I would say is, well, he stole mine, but never stop believing in yourself. Never quit. Like, no matter what happens, you never quit. And then also keep your purpose at the center. Stay true to your purpose. Like, no matter what happens in life, let that be your constant motivator that keeps you living. And your purpose should be about other people. Like, that's right. Purpose should be completely outside of yourself. It's how can I benefit others? How can I help others? How can I make this world a better place? How can I make my life count? Like, while I'm here, like, life is short, guys. Like, what if you never know when you can get in an accident and, like, life could be over in a moment. Like, what are you doing to actually love other people and serve other people, and what will you be remembered for?
I got a question, because you said never quit. I'm also an advocate of not quitting, like, see it through, at least to a certain point. Mm-hmm. There's always something to be learned if you persevere. At what point is it not considered quitting?
That's a very broad question. It'd have to be specific to, like,
Well, what scenario would you prefer to use? We're talking about relationships, so at what point is it?
Oh, I wasn't referring to a relationship. I mean, for that.
But you're marrying yourself.
Right.
Would you ever? No, we're not going to.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this. I mean, this question doesn't fully work with what you were asking, I don't think, but.
Not this question, but quitting.
On a marriage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do not quit on yourself.
Right. That's what the question was. So.
Yes, don't quit on yourself. If you don't feel like you can help yourself, there's someone out there that will help you.
We're going to answer that other question that you had in the marriage section that we're going to talk about. It's coming up soon.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be one of our sessions.
Okay.
So we can bring that question up. Moving on. Which foundational principles do you stand on that keep you grounded if things around you ever fall? If
things are crumbling, my idea is that they're meant to crumble to make me a better person. Will I get frustrated? Yes. But I've already been through a lot physically and mentally. And if I got through those things, I don't think that there's much that can break me. And if there is a breaking point, I know that I have a cast of people around that will hoist me.
That part.
I'm pretty fortified, but breaking is not an option. The one thing that I fear the most, that I don't know what I would do without, or even if it happens just temporarily, is not having a voice, literally and metaphorically. I'm very particular with my words, and I'm really good at getting people to understand me. But if at any point that I physically lose my voice, I would learn sign language, but I would lose a large part of my personality, a large part of what I love to do. I could still write, but I would not be able to be a full part of my writing, in my opinion. That might be a point where I would need my friends to hoist me. And then I guess also on the other side of it is not being heard. So if I'm screaming at the top of my lungs and I still do have a voice, that I really want to do something, like to the point that desire actually feels like a need, and the people that are around me that can help me make that happen turn their back on me, and not like I can't do it right now. If the people that I know that can help whatever that thing is become a reality, I would probably be hurt by that, because my love language is acts of service, and I am constantly serving others, and I also don't ask for help. So if that was to happen, then I would be very hurt that like I'm not being, if it is asked for from me, how important that thing is, that I'm not being heard. And again, at that moment, I might have a breaking point, and then I would need to be hoisted. So those morals or those values are the people around me are the most important. I changed it a little bit, but like I can't quit, figure out a way to keep going, and then understand that it's going to get better. Remain optimistic. Understand that you're going to get through it. So remain optimistic. When I have a rainy day fund, I have a list of things that if I'm in a slump, so I don't ask other people for help, that I go to. It's like a list of 12 things. No matter what, those typically get me into a better mood. Even I'll do them and no one will have to know that I'm in a bad mood. No one would have to know that I'm not the very energetic, playful, comedic Tez. I just go do those things, and then I'll get right back to regularly scheduled programming.
Are you going to share any of it?
Oh, you answer the question, then I'll share it.
Okay. Foundational principles that I stand on. Well, one of them being that, first of all, knowing that failure can always lead to growth. So even if things do fall, having the mentality that this failure is actually propelling me forward. I'm not going backwards. Like, I'm actually still moving forward, and this is just going to be a stepping stone to get me there. Whether I fall or not, like, I'm falling forward for sure, and which means I'm still going to be growing through it. Knowing that, having that mentality, knowing that I am enough, and that no matter what is happening, like, not saying I don't need other people, but I'm saying knowing that I can do anything I set my mind to. So even if things are falling, like, if I say I'm going to do something, like, I will blood, sweat, and tears get there, you know, and I will accomplish whatever I set my mind to. I know I'm capable. So knowing that, like, believing in myself. My relationship with God is obviously something that I always, it's not like even a fallback, but it's something that I'm just always connected to. It's like, all right, when I don't understand what's going on, or what I mean, sometimes it's just a point of surrender. Like, all right, God, I don't really know what's happening, but I trust you, and I'm just going to keep walking this out, no matter how uncomfortable it may be. Obviously, also family and friends are huge. Like, the circle that you have around your life is so important as to, in every aspect of your life. But like, the people in my life matter more to me than anything. Like, my people are my people, and I know that they've got my back, and I feel like I have a support system that is unmatched, and I'm so very grateful and blessed because of it. And then also, lastly, I think just keeping in the front of your mind, like, purpose over pleasure. So even in those moments where maybe you just want to give in to like something that might just make you feel good momentarily or in the moment, like, if you keep your purpose at the forefront of your mind, then I feel like your actions will actually get to where you want to go.
I like that. Your values are great.
Great. I like yours too.
Thanks.
Okay. So when was the last time you allowed negativity to steal some of your peace? And how can you prevent it from happening in the future? Now you gotta do a little storytelling. Like, you gotta share a little bit about, you know, what was that thing that stole a little bit of your peace?
Negativity is everywhere. So like, my acting teacher said that we all keep inner screams. And if you keep swallowing those inner screams, it can get uncomfortable. For me, when the negativity comes, what helps is all of those things we talked about at the beginning of this podcast. Some of those things are tough. Mostly everybody, friends included, didn't know about it when it was happening. And most of the world still don't know about it. But you will if you watch this podcast now, I guess. I had cancer, was battling that for about a year, and it was a struggle. I'm a very mentally fortified person. Chemo is a different demon. And the negativity that came with going through that during COVID is a compounding demon. I was in my apartment almost 24 hours a day because my immune system was essentially zero. And all I could do to distract myself was try to work out inside my apartment by myself and write scripts. I actually did not have the physical energy to get on camera and record myself doing just self-tapes or audition just for fun. So there wasn't much acting. There wasn't consistent acting. I would try it like maybe once a week, but it was like something small. And there got to be a point that after about 7 months of me doing that, and I was just going through, I went through a chemo session at the end of January or maybe the beginning of February. I wrote a letter to my doctor. I never sent it, pleading for him to convince me to keep going and keep doing chemo. Because obviously if I would have stopped, the cancer would have won. But chemo was a different demon. So that type of it was my own negativity, but just how I can be my biggest support. I had a single time in my life where I was my biggest enemy. And yeah, that moment got to me. Your turn.
Okay. Well, that was heavy.
Yeah.
I don't know if definitely cannot match that as far as the magnitude of it. I know, but mine was much more lighthearted. Honestly, the last time I allowed negativity to steal a little bit of my peace was probably just the other day. Like, to say that I'm always peaceful and I always have like perfect peace and then I don't have any negativity. The thing is, sometimes I overthink. Actually, a lot of times I overthink. I'm an overthinker. So I will replay a scenario in my head a million times over and like, well, how could I have done that better? That is what can literally like put me in a state of stress, because I am hard on myself, extremely hard on myself. And I think I'm an idealist and a perfectionist. And so I will be I get upset with myself when I don't do things that I know I'm capable of doing, or communicate in a way that is more effective, or act in a way that is more emotionally stable, whatever. Like, we all have our moments, and I can sometimes react in emotion versus using wisdom. And so I think negativity can be a lot coming from a place of just like attacking myself but also, overthinking isn't always a bad thing. It's good to do some self-evaluation, right? And to actually do reflection and write in your journal and think about, oh, next time I'm going to do it this way. So as far as how can I prevent it from happening again? I don't know if I'll ever stop like thinking on ways I can improve myself and improve certain ways that I do things. I think that though, when that negativity tries to take over and put you in a state of stress for like a long period of time, or you're in bed and you cannot shut it off, that's not healthy. Write it down. Like, that's a great way to get rid of it for me, like almost instantly. If I write it down, or if I journal about it, or I put it in my notes or something and just get it off my chest, like, all right, Jazz, you could have done this better. And maybe next time you're going to do it this way. And that's a way that you can prevent it from happening again.
Reflection is a beautiful tool. And it's very great that you do that. I do got a question. I'm not sure if that was a specific example, but I do have a question.
Okay.
If you don't want to go into this.
No, yeah.
When you replay back, because you said you replay back the scenario time after time after time, does it change your memory of that experience? Does it change when you replay and replay it? Or do you
Not
feel like
really.
you remember more as you replay it and replay it and replay it?
Yeah, I feel like I remember more, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know some folks that like alter the reality of what happened, and I don't know if it's like to make themselves feel better. I've had some experience where it's like I literally had to like replay exactly what the conversation, how it happened. Like, okay, I said this and then you said this, and then when I said this, what did you respond to? And then they'll say something completely like far-fetched that had nothing to do with where the rest of the conversation went. And I was like, to my knowledge, you said this. Did you say that? And they're like, well, yeah, but then no. So, like we're not gonna create a new storyline. We're gonna stick with what actually happened.
Yeah. But I think the whole point of self-reflection is that you're not focused on the other person. You're actually focused on yourself and how you can grow, which means that you should be accurate in the replaying or the retelling of whatever happened. Honestly, I find for myself, if I'm in the heat of the moment of a conversation and like maybe I do react in emotion and I'm not accurate in the way that things are said, because in that heat of the moment, I felt a certain type of way. So I heard it a type of way and I'm not right. If I replay it in a calm manner when I'm not like emotional at all, I can actually be like, oh, actually this is how it happened. And then I can see like how,
you're different.
Where I went wrong. And
most people can't do that then. In my experience, most people.
Really? I feel like if your goal is growth, then it should be not too hard to do that.
Most people's goal is not growth. Most people want problems always.
Well, I think the first way to start solving a problem is solve it within yourself, and then like don't even worry about let them worry about themselves and you worry about you, and then that's solving half the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wait, hold on. How many questions we got left? Because we might have to do a part.
I know.
Wait,
hold on.
How many questions we got left? And then we could
just two.
Okay.
We can make these quick.
All right.
Yeah, no, these are not quick. These are not quick questions.
All right.
We're gonna have to do a part 2.
Right. Well, thank you for tuning in to Jam Session number 7. We're going to do a part 2 with these last 2 or 3 questions, and it'll probably be a shorter episode, or we might just
add a couple more.
Yeah.
This is a great topic, and I feel like we don't talk about it enough, especially when we're referring to romantic relationships. We don't focus on self. We're so focused on the other person. We're so focused on what we want them to be like, and maybe you need to become that person that you want someone, that you want in someone else. And
I think both of those might have been focusing on self, but yeah. Yeah.
No?
If you're focused on how you can make the other person into a mold that fits your day-to-day activity, that's focusing on self.
No, that's not at all what I said.
Okay. All right.
Until next time, everyone.
Thanks again, folks.